Hi, I'm Michael.
Hi, I'm Elise.
Did you know that 46.8% of school kids report being bullied? In this video, you will see 3 different experiences of bullying and how it can affect people's lives.
Tell us about bullying, Michael.
So bullying for me started when I was in year 8. It just started off as verbal abuse, just in classes, and then as I got towards year 10 and 11, it became more physical. I'd be going home from school with bruises on my arms, and Mum and Dad would be saying where they're coming from. I was just saying it was from sport and stuff like that, because I didn't want them to know about what was happening at school. So in year 10 and 11, it did turn physical. It was just in the schoolyard and in class, just, getting hits on the arms and stuff like that, which, gave me the bruises, and just go home and just copped it, I suppose, because I wasn't the kind of person to hit back. Probably every day in the classes where I was getting bullied. But if I wasn't in a class with the bullies, then it was alright. And then also being an umpire, which I started when I was in school and still doing to this day, verbal abuse every Saturday from players and from supporters. I suppose it isn't as bad as what it was in school, because you're an umpire, so it comes along with the job. That's what people do, and I suppose I'm in a better mindset now to deal with what they say week in, week out.
How bullying affect you, Michael?
Bullying affected me in many ways, especially in my school. As it turned bad in year 10 and 11, I wagged a lot of school. It was mainly just the classes where I was being bullied in, just to get away and give myself, I suppose, just some me time where I wasn't getting picked on. Got to a stage where it was probably the worst it had been for the year, and I missed 2 weeks in a row. I'd come to school and get out of the car and just go straight down the street. And because missing those 2 weeks, I nearly got expelled, which probably wasn't ideal for me, but I just had to do what I had to just get through the day-to-day life. Started isolating myself from mates at school, because I just wouldn't see them, and then it led on to family as well. I'd come home from school and just go into my room and come out for tea, and I'd go back in again, which made Mum and Dad, I suppose, frustrated, because I wasn't talking to them, and they probably knew something was up, but because I just couldn't talk to them, it didn't help the situation, which that I look back on now, and probably should have been talking to Mum and Dad, because just to get the support that I needed, and they could have helped me, but at the time I just thought it was going to make it worse, and that's what I didn't want to happen. I suppose I managed the bullying by only choosing my classes to go to, which there was only about 2, I think, out of all of them, because they were just mainly just my mates in the class where I knew it wasn't going to happen. Where the other classes, there was just 1 or 2 who would pick on me, so that's when I would go down the street and spend an hour or so down there and then come back to school. As a result of missing all that school, I was failing my classes, but I thought at the time it's just what I had to do to get through. So bullying affected my family life as well. I was shutting a lot of people out, mum, dad, brother, sister. And with my social life, it affected that a fair bit as well. I wouldn't go to parties. I would just go to football and umpiring with, mum and dad, and I'd do that, then go straight back home again. And to this day, I still don't go out partying because I don't want to bump into the past bullies, because I don't know, there's still a bit of fear that it's going to happen again, which I don't. It's stopped at the minute, and that's good, but just afraid that if I go out again, it could start up. So yeah, just stay at home and where I'm safe.
How can we help others?
I suppose how we can help others is spreading the message that bullying isn't okay, and making sure that if they are being bullied, that they go and get the help that they need, which I look back on now and know that I did the wrong thing. I didn't go get help, I didn't go get support, so I tried to do it all on my own, which I shouldn't have, but at the time I thought I was doing the right thing. Also, coming back onto school kids, just to let them know that it's not okay, that bullying shouldn't be happening, and if they are seeing it happen in the school place, they should stand up and say that it isn't okay. And just for the people that are being affected, to go to family and friends and talk about what's happening, and if that isn't helping, then to go to Headspace or places like that to get professional help, and so they can fight it, I suppose. And probably just one more thing is, I think role modelling is pretty big. From being an umpire and on weekends, and copying the verbal abuse from parents, with little kids around, if their son or daughter sees their parents calling out names, and so the kids get the impression that it's all right to saying these words, and they go back to school and call the kids the names that they're hearing at football. So I think it comes back on the parents to probably not be saying abusive language towards umpires on football fields, and I think the parents just have to tell their kids what is right and what is wrong, and so then it comes back to school and they're better behaved. So how much responsibility should parents have?
Well, I think that the parents basically should have all of the responsibility. Schools and sporting clubs, they can enforce, all sorts of bullying policies, but if it's not being reinforced at home and it's not being taught at home as a basic culture, I think those policies are always going to fall down. It's really about parents, teaching and role modelling to children that bullying behaviour is not okay.
So has bullying affected your family?
Yeah, bullying has, I guess, affected our family. It's probably not as bad as it has been for some other families. I've got 3 kids, and my youngest daughter has experienced it, and I think one of the different things is that girls sometimes experience it differently than what boys do. For my daughter, it's sort of been a lot of verbal, a lot of emotional kind of bullying, and given that they're online so often, there's no break from it. With my son, I think it's been it's been hard because he tends to call it banter, whereas we think it's bullying. And so the pack mentality, when boys get together, they'll often be think they're sledging and just having a bit of fun, but sometimes the content of that sledging is really, really personal and really, really hurtful. And I think I've had to try and teach my son that it's not banter to say some of the things that they're saying, that it really hurts. So it's been really, I guess, important for my husband and I to, teach the kids about, what's appropriate behaviour from our kids, as well as what they're receiving at school as well. So, trying to encourage my daughter that, not to buy into that behaviour, and if it gets really bad to talk to us about how we can manage it better for her.
So what advice have you given your kids while they have been experiencing bullying?
Well, I guess the first thing that we've always tried to do is send the message that bullying is not okay. So that's from both sides of bullying as well, not just that it's not okay for them to be victims of it, but that it's not okay for them to bully children. And just try to, I guess, help them understand how their choice of actions and their behaviours can really have a negative impact on somebody else's journey through life. So we've tried to make sure that they are aware that, that bullying is unacceptable, whether you're the bully or the bullied. When your children are the victims of bullying, it's really, really hard to know what to say to them sometimes, because particularly when they get older, in high school, I found from about year 8, they really don't want to talk to you about it, because their biggest concern is that by talking to you about it, you're going to make things worse. I think they're just sort of hoping that it'll go away. So yeah, I guess when, things start to get really bad, that they're not wanting to go to school anymore, that's the time where, we're trying to identify if something's going on. Some of the things that we've told our kids is to talk to the bully one-on-one. Try and get them when there's nobody else around, and find out why they're doing it, why they're targeting them, and even send the message to the bully about how it makes you feel, and try and, I guess, relate to the bully a little bit, because I think that bullies at the end of the day don't realise the long-term damage that they are causing. They're just trying to get through their day as well. Wherever possible, we have encouraged our kids to deal with it themselves, and to try and do it in a responsible, safe way. But we have always made sure that the kids knew that it was not okay, and if it was happening and they couldn't manage it, that they could come and talk to us. So we have had some incidences where we have been involved with the school, and the school has provided a very good response to most of our complaints. And that's because the child was upfront and honest about what was happening, and we were able to then directly, I guess, address the actual bullying behaviour and the person that was causing it. Probably the best advice that I could give to anybody is to talk to your parents or talk to your support people around you. If you can't talk to those close to you in your family, get support from some of the local services, including Headspace, also even just your doctor, things like that, someone at the school. Just be talking to an adult about it, and just know that you don't have to, I guess, the bullying doesn't have to continue.
So tell us about bullying, Emma.
So it started in about year 7, and I was, constantly getting left out, picked on, and just the verbal sort of stuff, just the names and just the little, nitty gritty sort of picking on and getting ignored and stuff like that. And then in year 8, I actually got told that I wasn't allowed to hang out with them anymore. And then it, became physical with someone else at the school. He started hitting me with food, banana peels, and putting food in my hair and pushing me and things like that. I went to the teachers, and they helped me a lot, and then it really calmed down.
So how often did the bullying happen?
So the physical stuff was more of a once a week kind of thing. It wasn't overly often, but it was, repeated. But the verbal things like the name calling and, getting left out and stuff, that was every day at recess and lunch. And if I was in the same classes as them, then they would pick on me, and yeah, so it was every day.
So how did bullying affect you?
So along with other, sort of issues that I had going on, it became depression and anxiety. So I was seeing a counsellor all the time, like at least once a week. I had 2 different counsellors. I had one at the school, which helped me a lot, and I was also attending Headspace, which was really good. It helped me a lot. With my schoolwork, I did it, but I wasn't really doing it to my full potential, and I wasn't doing enough work to sort of pass because I just didn't have the motivation. I didn't have the energy. I just didn't want to do anything. I just sat there in class. So, and socially, I wouldn't hang out with my friends outside of school. If I was hanging out with my friends, I was really quiet and I didn't really say much because I was worried about getting judged and picked on or laughed at. Yeah, at school I was just really quiet. I wasn't my bubbly self before it all started happening. It just made me completely shut down. At home I was pretty good around my family because I was trying to hide it, so I didn't want them to know. I didn't want them to see that I was upset or sad or anything, so I was quite good at home, but yeah, once I got to school I just really shut down and I wasn't myself.
So how can we help others, Emma?
So the biggest thing for me was to speak out. It really helped me a lot when I sought help from family. My family were really supportive. The school was really supportive, and I went and saw the counsellors there, and Headspace was really good as well because they deal with young kids all the time. So they really helped me, and yeah, it really turned my life around because I wasn't in a great place when I was getting bullied and everything like that, and I was going to school 4 days a week instead of 5, and when I had counselling and when I had someone to talk to and vent, I didn't have to have that day off of school anymore. And yeah, so the biggest thing that I want to get across to people is to tell them to speak out and get help.
What's left to say? These prayers ain't working anymore. Every word shot down in flames. What's left to do with these broken pieces on the floor? I'm losing my voice, calling on you. I've been shaking, I've been bending backwards, still I'm broke. Watching all these dreams go up in smoke. Let beauty come out of ashes. Let beauty come out of ashes. Use these tears to put out the fires in my soul, 'cause I need you here. Oh, 'cause I've been shaking, I've been bending backwards, still I'm broke. Watching all these dreams go up in smoke. Out of ashes, let beauty come out of ashes. And when I pray I'm out of